Hi everyone, I'm Showa 60th Toka Break, and it's a pleasure to meet you guys.
Hi, this is Loli Lexi, and yes, I do bite.
This is Nikulu Thun, also known as Draven Darkwood. A pleasure to meet you all.
And I'm your host with the most, Zonga Fielding, and this is Audiosolvent. Now, today's topic is, of course, film on the eastern, western side, television shows, live action sort of things, and even live action movies based on animes and comic books. Because that seems to be the new thing in theaters, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, apparently so.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, who would like to take the topic first, or speak first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Of course, according to J.E. Fusion, someone in the Super Sentai world has become an actual hero in real life this year.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yes. This dude has actually saved a life. If you're like a huge fan of Flashman, which released in 1986, then you should definitely know Green Flash, aka Dai, or his real name, Kihachiro Uemura. According to Yomiuri Online, he saved a guy at Akiba Station from cardiac arrest. And now he's getting some appreciation from the Kondo Fire Department in Tokyo, which is starting technically tomorrow. It's actually tomorrow over there right now.
Ah, interesting.
That's kind of ironic that a show named Flashman involves cardiac arrest.
No. Seriously though, Flashman is a Sentai series in 1980, which released in 1986. It was supposed to be the 10th Sentai series. Yeah, I'm rambling on a tangent here, but yeah, long story short, a superhero actor actually became a real-life superhero.
That's always
Which
interesting.
is pretty cool.
Indeed. Guys, have you heard about the second G.I. Joe movie?
Yes, actually, I've heard quite a bit.
It has apparently been delayed. Do you know why, though?
Delayed?
That I did not know of.
Yes, it was supposed to be released last weekend, but it was not. It has been delayed until 2013.
Why?
I've been told it has to do with it has to do with the main actor.
Well, he wasn't the main actor until they decided to do the reshoots.
Yeah.
Originally, the two starring actors were supposed to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Bruce Willis. But apparently, Channing Tatum, you may know him from Magic Mike and, Step Up 2, if I'm correct, and a few other shows, like the original G.I. Joe movie in which he played Duke. Well, apparently, he dies early on in the second G.I. Joe movie, and apparently due to the audiences going to things like Magic Mike and seeing how much money they were pulling in, among other things, seeing that he's done a lot of movies this year and how much money they've been making, they decided to pull it from theaters and shoot more footage with Channing Tatum in it to make him actually a main character again in the movie and not die.
Wow.
Now,
that's almost like the Mass Effect 3 redo.
Deus Ex Machina type shit?
I guess, personally, I say, who the fuck this... I can understand, if they thought that this, but Channing Tatum is taking a movie away from Bruce Willis, who is a much better actor than he is. Will always be a better actor. Why the fuck does he think that he needs to take this movie away from him?
I have no idea.
Bitches be trippin'.
Indeed.
Bitches be trippin'.
Back to some Tokusatsu news, and Zonga, this is going to tickle you a lot, because this involves a certain space sheriff.
Space sheriff? Whatever do you mean?
I meant space sheriff, dude.
Space sheriff? You mean
Yes.
the space sheriff?
Correctamundo, sir. Okay, but bear this in mind, this is all rumors, so anyone listening, please take this as a grain of salt. This is another piece courtesy from our good friends at Daily Fusion. Go to their site because they have some of the coolest news. That and Henshin Justice Unlimited. But yes, a new special government movie is supposed to be coming. It's coming shortly, like around, I don't know, next year or later this year. I'm not quite sure right now, but there's been some rumors going around that Kenji Oba, the guy who has played the role of the original eponymous character, might get a replacement.
Why is that?
I have no idea, but like I said, this is just a rumor. Either he's being replaced or they're just doing a torch passing thing.
Quite possibly. Well, you know when they did the movie Kamen Rider the first?
Yes.
How they had different characters, different actors play Kamen Rider 1 and 2 because it was supposed to, be for a younger audience.
Well, there's that, and of course it's a blatant reboot. That and the two Kamen Rider movies were both blatant reboots of the original.
Indeed.
Yeah, because there hasn't been a reboot ever.
Yes. So, Lexi, any news from your side?
Well, amongst the whole discovering of new animes, I must say that so far, Dog Days, upon watching it, the first few episodes, I don't know what to make of it. It has left me speechless because I really don't know what the plot is yet.
What exactly is Dog Days?
I suggest watch a pre-broadcasting video of it and just kind of say what you think. I'll send a link right now.
Yes, I would have to do that after the show.
But it's almost every character is an animal. I just can't really place what animal and why they're animals in the first place. There seems to be orgasms in it randomly. I don't really understand that.
I know exactly what you're... Is that the one where, like, they power their mech through orgasm?
I think so.
Is that what you're talking about? Oh, yeah, I know that show.
That sounds... Oh my god, Japan.
We are on the map now! We not have sexual orgasm.
Yes.
Japan.
Also...
Rumor has it that Toho has made, and this is just a rumor, I haven't seen it, but apparently some people that I know have seen it in the process. It's a Toho hentai video game.
No.
Yes.
No.
Or Ace Games.
Why? I actually like Toho-related things. I don't want to see my Toho characters in some hentai.
Hey, come on, every character's been in a hentai, especially every single character from Valkyrie profile.
No.
In the age we live in, there's going to be a porn for everything.
Rule 34. If it exists, there's porn of it. Rule 43. If there is no porn of it, it doesn't exist.
Hey.
And upon Vocaloid stuff, there has been a new series of Korean Vocaloids. I don't know how many people follow that, but I'm very much into the Korean stuff.
Okay.
I myself have purchased one of the music computer programs. I would really like to see some Korean Vocaloid cosplays. And people know what it is and stuff.
I'm not too much of a fan of the Vocaloid. I just prefer the original Digital Idol to them, Sharon Apple. You should look her up.
Macross Plus.
Yeah, Sharon Apple.
Macross Plus is amazing.
Indeed.
Yeah, it is weird. But at the same time, it is pretty decent. But yeah, speaking of old anime, here's something from our good friends at AnimeNewsNetwork.com. Sailor Moon gets a new series in this next summer.
Will it be anime or live action?
Yes.
Well, I doubt it. It's not going to be a live action series.
They've done one before, though.
Yes.
I have the new mangas. Let's say it's going to be based off of that. Sailor Moon will have goggles.
Oh,
Not sure.
If you guys know about Sailor V when it first came out, how she had those goggles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those.
Yeah, Sailor Moon will have those goggles. She'll be able to see crime happening in the streets of Tokyo, I guess, with those goggles.
Ha.
Her outfit looks different too.
Either Tokyo or Tokyo's Juban district.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, is it a reboot or is it something new?
I don't know. It's supposed to be something new, but yes. And
Is it continuing the story?
Not really.
Sorry.
Not necessarily. But here are a couple of updates that have been going on courtesy of the Japan Expo. More background information added, and this is from Anime News Network, by the way, and I quote, although Koto no Mitsushi and Toru Furuya, who are the voices of the main male and female protagonists, have mentioned that they'll be involved, there's no telling that they'll reprise their roles as the lead characters.
Interesting.
The second update comes from Kodansha's editor, Fumio Asano, that it is not a film, it is a television series. Number 3, also from editor Asano. He emphasized that no details have been set for the hypothetical broadcast. However, the staff intends to release new anime worldwide simultaneously. The fourth one was, during the Japan Expo, Mitsushi mused aloud if she will appear in the new anime in a blog spot after the event. She said she is eager to play the role in it. Then there's the last and fifth update. Mitsushi added in her blog that the enemy is not the Dark Kingdom this time around, but she was speaking metaphorically, and not literally. She said that the figurative enemy is her own self from the first Sailor Moon anime. She is comparing her audacious performance then to her acting now.
Well, also in other news, this is for you Power Ranger fans out there. The complete series DVD of Power Rangers will be released at Comic-Con 2012. So,
Which Power Rangers?
The complete
original
series of the
original 1993 television show.
Yes.
Which means you get to relive your moments with those 5 teenagers with attitude.
Indeed.
Jason David Frank, the Chuck Norris of the Power Ranger franchise.
Don't forget about Tommy, Chuck Norris.
Also, and more news, Sengoku Basara, if you haven't known this already, is getting a live-action drama that begins, actually, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Just now.
July 12th.
Tomorrow, being today in Japan,
Yes.
meaning they just started.
Yes.
Wow, this is just awesome. Well, funny thing, because I was watching the anime adaptation of Sengoku Basara, and oh my god, that series is effed up. That
Indeed.
series is so trippy and hot-blooded at the same time.
Also, in Ishinomori news, Shotaro Ishinomori, creator of Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, there is reported to be a Cyborg 009 movie in the works.
Are we talking about RD Cyborg or the live-action one? Or a live-action Hollywood remake?
A live-action Hollywood remake.
Yeah, funny thing, I kind of figured that because I was just looking at it not too long ago, and apparently the guys involved is like, they really want to capture the very spirit of the original Cyborg 009 series, while at the same time make it relatable to Western audiences.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, it's almost not necessary because when you think about Cyborg 009, the series was first conceived during a certain time.
Which time was that?
This was like during, I forgot, I think it was like during the Cold War.
Ah, that time period.
Yeah.
Cyborg 009, just so I'm sure it's the right one I'm thinking. Is that the one with the multiple cyborgs with the one professor or whatever?
Yeah, it's essentially Kamen Rider with...
Okay, just making sure I knew which one it was. But the only complaint I have about it, and I did look this up too, is adapting it to an American audience can be alright, but usually the only thing that they do is take out all the jokes and or references, which isn't necessarily a problem. But when you mix the wrong jokes in a live action anime or just a movie of an anime, it can sometimes destroy the entire image of it, and then you just fail at what you're actually trying to do. I mean, American actors, sure, makes sense, but completely turning it to something else is probably what will ruin it, because, I mean, the show was already relatable. With the personality archetypes of all the characters, you could be like, hey, I know that guy, I know that girl. But I just hope they managed to do this without taking away what the show was about.
Indeed. Well, see, the thing about Cyborg 009 is that it had a character from, like, each major part of the world. They had one from the US, they had one from Japan, they had one from Africa, they had one from Russia. They've had a cyborg from just about every... How can I put this without offending anyone? Well, I'll just say from all over the world, even though there were 9 cyborgs.
Yeah, pretty much. I also, well, in all honesty, I was rather fond of the anime that came on Toonami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that anime series was far too underrated, in my opinion.
Which one?
The more recent one.
The 2001 remake?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
I haven't been able to watch too much of any recent Toonami, because as of now, my internet is pretty much dead. Or not my internet, my cable is non-existent.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so any news about Toonami, I usually hear 3-4 weeks later.
Personally, because I don't have cable, I don't feel I need it. I think they should have a Toonami for Hulu, like just that section.
Interesting.
Oh, that would make some sense.
Yeah, because think about it nowadays. Most people have a game system that they either have Hulu and Netflix off of. It would make a more profitable investment,
I do
especially
agree.
for Hulu Plus.
I do agree, because when it comes to nowadays, people rarely watch television nowadays. They're always on their computers, on their internet boxes, just using up the internet.
Yeah, most likely.
I would be a why that way it'll still get rated, probably even more, for the sheer fact of it being on the internet.
Indeed. Oh, I also have more news for all the fans out there. For you Great Teacher Onizuka fans, this is getting a new live-action series.
Nice.
Wow.
Also, there's the Rurouni Kenshin live-action movie that's coming out
Next month.
Yes, indeed.
To commemorate to commemorate well over 15 years of Rurouni Kenshin, they released an OVA prior to the movie, which was set with, well, the first half of it at least was set during the Kyoto arc, and that was like one of the greatest arcs ever. I was watching it Saturday, and oh my god, that was one of the most splendid reimaginings of the Kyoto arc that I've seen.
Were you talking about the one where you learn his past?
Mm-hmm.
Those movie ones? Yes, those ones were absolutely excellent. Like Live or Die, I think it was.
No, yeah, it's kind of like that, but this is like when he runs in with Makoto Shisho, and well, at least when I saw it, this was like when he broke his reverse blade sword fighting Sojiro, and he tried to get a new one. But yeah, Rurouni Kenshin was one of my favorite anime sagas I've ever seen, and oh yeah, I'm going to have to interrupt that nostalgia moment right here because I'm at TokyoGraph.com, and this is for those of you who are fans of Dragon Age. Bassist Ikuzo died at 46 years old, which kind of blows right now.
Wow.
This was like 2 months ago.
Oh, really? Also, in other news, I'm trying to get off the subject of death. I'm afraid it's going to get worse.
for all you Go Buster fans out there, the next episode coming after
Go Buster.
Go Busters, the more recent official Sentai. In that series, this could be in the next up-and-coming episode, this could be Blue Buster's last and final battle.
But Blue Buster's my favorite Buster.
But think about this. Enter knows his weakness now.
Mm-hmm.
And his weakness is if he overheats, he goes totally yandere on your ass, and then after a while he starts to pass out.
Mm-hmm.
And what Progress is about to do is pretty much exploit that weakness and milk it for what it's worth. So there's a new monster coming up that's going to do exactly that, and there's a good chance that Ryuji might end up dead.
Interesting.
Either he dies or he ends up quitting the team.
Possibly, or they bring him back later. That usually tends to happen. You know, plot contrivances and trying to make things more interesting.
I'm not too sure about that because Go Buster has really been a good Sentai so far.
Yeah, a really good one. I also like
for them to try to force and for them to mess that up now, that will pretty much whet the appetites of a lot of Gokaiger fanboys and girls who overblow the previous Sentai's popularity.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it will happen. You can't really get rid of one of the really main characters like that. Because remember, they have that team dynamic sort of thing going on where they need all three of them to make that, their Megazord.
That's true. Or chances are they might end up replacing him.
With another
I'm not
Blue.
sure. I really hope that it doesn't come to it. Well, even if he dies, this would be like the first time this has happened in the Heisei period of Sentai program since Abaranger.
Indeed.
Because after the death of Abare Killer in that series, there haven't been any Sentai deaths.
Yeah, because fans probably get up in uproars over things like that.
Like in Zyuranger, when Budai died, a lot of fans were upset. But Toei was like, no, we can't do that. We gotta keep him dead.
Indeed.
Well,
yes?
except maybe somebody messed up isn't necessarily, it's good, but at the same time it's bad. Like the recent thing with Mass Effect. Good, they accept that they did wrong, they did bad. Alright, but when you go too far and give it to the fan base, sometimes it'll more destroy your show you'll just mess it up for the worst.
Like Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah, that.
Oh my god, that was... Wait, no, that wasn't...
Let's stay on topic, guys.
The guy for Dragon Ball, I think he died.
Akira Toriyama
was his son.
is still alive. Akira Toriyama is still alive. That has nothing to do with anything.
No, I was, wait.
The voice of Tien Shinhan?
That might have been it.
Yes. That.
Yeah.
I remember somebody died, so they gave it to a new person to direct. Like GT, that lame, horrible period where Dragon Ball turned into a pot of crap.
No, see,
that was like
Toriyama just decided to quit with the Dragon Ball thing and let his assistants do GT and things like that. That's what ended up happening.
Speaking of Dragon Ball, they're making a new movie in 2013.
Interesting. Which is making it? Which country?
Japan.
Interesting.
They're doing like a possible 14th or 15th Dragon Ball Z movie.
But how can they do that if the series has been completed?
Yeah, that's the thing. Apparently, this fan base in Japan has strengthened once more, obviously, for this to happen. Because I saw like a Japanese advertisement on someone's Facebook not too long ago, and it had the cast. It had the cast of Dragon Ball Z since the Majin Buu arc.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the artwork is like so freaking new. And I see 2013 within all that kanji, and it's like, oh crap, they're doing another Dragon Ball movie.
Now, In other news, for you American Tokusatsu fans again, Beetleborgs and VR Troopers are getting a first season DVD that is now available on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And
mine.
yes.
Sorry, I'll let you continue that one. Mine can wait.
Yeah, the other two shows from Saban Brands.
Yep.
Back when Saban tried to become America's answer to Japanese tokusatsu.
By taking Japanese tokusatsu and whitewashing it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a sad, yeah, and of course he fucked up with Masked Rider.
Yeah, he really messed up with Masked Rider.
That was pretty bad.
Now then,
I didn't like it anyway.
Well, what was I saying? Dwayne,
Mm-hmm.
since you are the host of Toku Break, please tell us where Beetleborgs and VR Troopers came from.
Okay, alrighty, starting with Big Bag Beetleborgs. They come from two Metal Hero... Okay, a huge chunk of the Japanese footage for Big Bag Beetleborgs. I keep making a V sound, damn it. They came from two Metal Hero shows from the 90s, B-Fighter and B-Fighter Kabuto. And of course, it's all insect related because apparently Japanese love insects and such. One other side note of useless information, the voice and wireframe actor for Devil May Cry 3 was in B-Fighter Kabuto as Mach Wendy, aka B-Fighter Yama. That aside, VR Troopers used 3 Metal Hero shows. Earlier ones, actually. For Ryan Steele's, first it was Metalder. Then there was one of the Metal Hero shows. I think it was Shider. Yep, Shider. And for JB and Caitlyn, they used footage from, I think, Interdimensional Warrior Spielman. Mm-hmm. And then there was another Metal Hero series similar to it, which I completely forgot. So yeah, that's where Beetleborgs and VR Troopers came from. And since Power Rangers has become so much of a popular hit, Saban decided it was a nice idea to take all those tokusatsu shows and use the whole Power Ranger principle on them. And compared to the editing that they did with Power Rangers, I'm not gonna lie, starting with VR Troopers, since they came out first after Power Rangers. Oh my god. Some of the footage is like ridiculous. In the case of the Shider footage, they used some of the footage involved the main character that didn't involve so much of his face work. Kind of like Masked Rider where you had obvious shots of Kotaro Minami.
Mm-hmm.
That was the same case with the second half of VR Troopers, when they used the footage for Shider. Like this one episode, where they had this gas in the forest, and Ryan was trying to escape it and such.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the gas, he was unable to transform until like something. You know that one transformation scene from Shider where the main character jumps and this beam of light comes in and he starts transforming.
Mm-hmm.
They used that scene, surprisingly. And it's like, holy crap. I mean, at the time when I was a kid, when I saw this, I was like, I knew it was Japanese footage, but I didn't know what show specifically. Now, in the case of Beetleborgs, they handled their editing of the B-Fighter footage admirably, which is probably like the second time they've done well with another franchise without messing that up, at least. The only exception I can think of was like the first season of Beetleborgs when they were at Comic-Con, and they used footage from other Metal Heroes that some of us might not know of, not even myself. And it was like, wait a minute. And then when you skip to the American version, it's like, hey, wait a minute, where are they?
Yeah, like being in a factory and then they jump and then they're somehow in an open field.
Yeah.
Best
kind of like that.
Job.
Not of that.
Melvin.
Meanwhile,
So,
like
In the streets of Gotham.
Speaking of Gotham City, how do
Nice.
you guys feel about the Dark Knight Rises? Do you have good expectations for it?
I have one thing to say about that.
What?
They have, yes, a perfect character to end. They have Bane, the man who broke Batman. My only problem is, if you do Venom.
Yeah, I'm sort of incredulous on the situation as well. Personally, every time Bane has come up in a television show or a movie, they play him like an idiot. Even though...
It's not... I understand what you're saying. He's supposed to be like a master strategist and like hyper intelligent. Well, not hyper
Yes,
intelligent,
he
but
is
really
a
intelligent.
scientist and a luchador. He is an intelligent man, but they play him like he's a monkey. And it's like, God.
When you look at it, it's like kind of disappointing, especially in Western media. You think of a strong man, you think of a potential dumbass.
Yes, but Bane is really intelligent. He orchestrated...
It doesn't actually look like he... Sorry. It doesn't actually look like he's wearing Venom. He has Venom. It looks like he's just a person. And
Yeah.
he'll probably find Venom later.
That's what it looks like, but
I really hate to refer back to Dragon Ball Z, but let's take that for example. When the 1996 Ocean dub, ever since that, like Raccoon for example, they made him a complete dumbass, while in the original Japanese, he was actually smarter. And I'm glad DBZ Abridged kind of portrayed that aspect of him perfectly, to an extent.
Wow. DBZ Abridged.
So yeah, if any of you for those of you who watched DBZ Abridged, what did you think of what did you think of how they end season 2?
I don't watch Dragon Ball Abridged, I'm sorry. I don't keep up with that sort of thing.
Me neither. I've stopped.
But
You mean the one by Team 4-Star?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. No words can describe.
Mind if I come in with a bit of news? For those of you who might have seen the French, in fact, anime Code Lyoko, they are apparently doing a reboot where the same basic animation of the characters, and they are now making them a little bit more modern, and the parts and scenes where they're normally in their respective, I believe it is a private school.
Yes.
There is now going to be live action. That is the speculation on that currently.
Interesting.
The characters and plot is more or less the same. It has mainly just been a update and reboot that looks, based on the original and screen caps that I've seen, it looks relatively amazing from just where they've gone with how they're animating it. A very unique style, and not something I usually expect from from some European animations that I've seen. It looks very good. I definitely recommend waiting for that one. It's supposed to come out, I believe, next year.
Okay. We will keep an eye out for that. Now then, how do you all feel about the Amazing Spider-Man movie? For
I've
those of
actually
you who've
seen
seen it.
Mind if I give away
was me.
spoilers?
Hmm?
Do you mind if I give some things away?
Sure. As
I'll try
long
to
as you
stick to
say
things that are
spoilers
related.
first.
I'll say spoiler alert. For now, I'll just try to stick to the things that, were in the trailers, and I can give you some detail.
Okay.
First of all, this is based on the amazing and, spectacular Spider-Man thing. Spider-Man being a lot younger, and, of course, high school, young, vulnerable. And this one portrays a very different kind of Spider-Man. Not necessarily bad, but a very different one.
Is he still the whiny bitch that he was in the 3 previous movies?
No, not at all. He's actually a much stronger character, I believe.
You mean like the actual Spider-Man?
Portrays a lot of the... I'm sorry?
That like the actual Spider-Man who isn't a whiny bitch and likes to crack jokes?
Yeah. I like this Spider-Man because
He's not emo.
as Peter Parker,
He doesn't have the sodding haircut.
Come on, guys.
He doesn't do a Friday night, the Saturday Night Fever strut?
He portrays a very awkward Peter Parker, much like he was in the comics. He was kind of nervous, but you could always see that hero inside.
Mm-hmm.
This one focuses also on Gwen Stacy, the main character for the Amazing Spider-Man, which Mary Jane was not really that much involved in.
Well, she got
Gwen
involved
Stacy
later.
being moral center, she kept him in line. She was there for him when people died and were struggling.
You know, it was his first girlfriend.
Yes. This story, this incarnation, I guess, this new generation of Spider-Man,
Spider-Man the
they focus a
Regeneration.
decent bit on what?
Spider-Man the Regeneration.
Did I say that?
He's the new Doctor.
What?
He's the new Doctor.
Yes, he is not Doctor Who. Don't even go there.
He's not even close to Doctor Who. He does not have a police box or a sonic screwdriver.
But he does have a
Or
different
a very
face.
awesome sidekick. But anyway.
That's not the point.
Yes.
Okay, now.
This actually only features one villain also. This new Spider-Man.
Good, as it should.
The main villain in this one is Lizard Man.
No, the Lizard.
I always called him Lizard Man, but my apologies.
Mm-hmm.
He is the main villain for this one. Actually a relevant character, aside from the second Spider-Man movie, in which he was just some random professor who didn't have an arm.
Yes.
Which was very, very disappointing. This one, he actually is relevant. You see the turmoil that his character had, and you experience this with him. Not to mention Gwen Stacy as a character. You learn not too much about her, but it goes into her family, something that was almost non-existent, especially also in the Spider-Man movies, as Gwen Stacy was simply the one that Mary Jane got all pissy about.
Well, also Mary Jane wasn't really that much of a character either. They didn't...
She was pretty two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Overall, I think they stayed a lot true to the comics, giving showing that Spider-Man actually made his web shooters instead of giving it to him as a power, which in the comics, Spider-Man, Peter Parker was smart. He was very smart. He made it. And he did later gain the bio web shooters as part of his body, but that became a long time after he was eaten and hatched. Yeah, very gross. So I did enjoy that. It was a lot truer to the comics. It was overall a very, very refreshing take on the Spider-Man, and I do think that if they continue making movies with him, which I believe they are, I believe that this movie can grow to be much better than the trilogy featuring, dang, I forgot his name. The actor who did the first three Spider-Mans.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, Tobey
Yeah, I
Maguire.
stopped caring after he,
Brokeback
did
Mountain.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I believe that this new Spider-Man could be it'll be a lot better for terms of keeping Marvel, with these good movies that are coming out, and keeping the continuity also very, very fresh and new.
Because apparently Marvel has been making good summer movies lately.
Indeed.
I know, it's so weird.
It's like you would expect comic book movies to suck on the summer, but it's like, yeah, this is for all the good people out there who doubted us. How about we give you all your favorite heroes from the past few summer films, and we'll gather them all together in this awesome cluster called the Avengers.
Okay, real quick on the Avengers. I think it was only as good because it was directed by Joss Whedon. Yes.
No.
You may not like him.
No.
May not like him. I don't care. Joss Whedon is a awesome director. He directed the Avengers, Firefly, and other amazing shows.
Here's the thing about Joss Whedon. He does more. I'm gonna probably alienate fans, and cause us to lose them by saying this, but he does his share of bad work and his share of good work. He's very middle of the road, if you ask me.
Yes, he has done bad movies, but it was usually because he had to deal with what he had. He doesn't usually, if he's a director, he doesn't really have, from what I've seen, he doesn't have too much of a part in the writing of it. If he's just, here, you're directing this. He has to deal with the material that he's given. And usually, from a director standpoint, for things of, how the shots are taken, I believe he does a good job, even if the movie itself is bad.
Cabin in the Woods was an awful movie.
Yes, it was.
That's all I have to say.
Cabin in the Woods. That almost sounds like half of the horror movies that's been put out in theaters these days.
Sounds like everything M. Night Shyamalan has ever done.
Dollhouse wasn't a good series.
What? You didn't like it?
Nope, didn't.
You, sir. Shame.
No, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Oh.
Anyways, that's a petty argument.
And
yes?
Back on the eastern side, Kamen Rider Super Sentai Superhero Wars will have an October DVD and Blu-ray release.
Ah, interesting.
Really?
I've been waiting for that.
The number one kids movie in Japan will get an October video release. And I know a lot of people in the fan subbing community will enjoy this one. Basically, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about in regards to this is the long-awaited crossover. This was the long-awaited crossover between Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. It also commemorates the 10th anniversary of Superhero Time, which was a time block which came on every Sunday morning from 7:30 to 8. Which was part of a major kids time block called Sunday Morning Kids Time. And for those of you who ever wondered what would happen if the two main juggernauts of superhero tokusatsu would come together, then this is it. For all you importers out there, you better save your money up for this one.
Indeed. I know what I'm purchasing. What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Anyway, it's about time to close on this second episode of Audiosolvent. You guys have any final words?
Yes. There is a dot hack movie that was released. If not many people know about it.
Sekai no Mukoni.
Yeah, whatever Moonstick
yes.
he just said.
That movie. The movie is being released as a hybrid pack alongside Dot Hack Versus.
For me, I believe it's worth mentioning because from what I've seen, it really passed under the radar.
Well, honestly, I think Dot Hack should pass under the radar.
You sir, go home, sir.
No, see, here's the thing. It's the same. It's them playing a video game. It's all it is. It's like if we
video
started.
Game that eats your brain.
No, see, here's the thing. It's like if we all got PSPs and we played Phantasy Star, and then that would be the first series, and then the next series would be Phantasy Star Portable 2, and then after that we'll have a next series, which would be a side series about a group of other people playing the same damn game.
Well, you know what?
That's going to be for another one. That's going to be for another podcast.
Yes. That'll be. We'll talk about that another time.
Yes.
Of course.
Now, final thoughts for you, Lexi?
I must say that I hope everybody has had a great time on here so far. And I would like to see the fan base for Dead Man Wonderland to get bigger.
Yeah, Dead Man Wonderland.
I will be doing a cosplay of her, but don't expect for it to be made very cheaply. I'll be in all latex.
Because who doesn't like girls in latex?
I know.
How can you pass that up?
Fix my tie right quick. Now then. Well, everybody, this is Zonga Fielding of Audiosolvent signing out.
This is Toka Break Show 60 saying, Johnny.
This is Loli Lexi saying, have an awesome time.
This is Draven Darkwood saying, have a nice weekend. Enjoy your time.
Get drunk.
And
Do not get drunk. Do not drink and drive.
yes,
Stay in school.
don't do that. We like our fan
Stay in
base to
school.
live.
Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Puff, puff, pass.
Okay.
You are all horrible role models.